Personal agenda. I am in the quiet of my little studio, and I want to speak on a treasured topic. Personal agenda for a David. A David has come in close to my life experience. And I feel moved to tell a story. We took my grandparents' house on St. Pete Beach, and we dedicated it to the highest spirit, Yahweh. We dedicated the house to the use of Yahweh. And there was one discerning disciple who we stationed in the house just to discern spirit and cleansing. In the Hebrew tradition, when you move into a new house, you don't put the blessing on the door, you don't seal the house until you first sit in it and get discernment in the rooms about what spirits might live there. So as a precious disciple was spending time just in prayer and the recitation of the word, there were various spirits that he got discernment about and was motivated to pray. But there was one spirit who would come home sometimes, and this fellow would sit there and say, "Personal agenda. Personal agenda." That one just doesn't want to go away. Personal agenda. And it's very interesting because the adversary is what the word Satan means. Satan means the adversary or the accuser. And two things are noteworthy. The adversary said, "I will be like the Most High God." I will replace God in the highest position, and I will make the decisions. I will be in control. I will manipulate myself into a position where I am controlling. Personal agenda. I will not relinquish my ideas or control to someone else. Personal agenda. I will not submit, lay down. Will not submit, lay down my will and follow another. Personal agenda. It's fascinating and dangerous because you can be engaged in really lovely spiritual activities at the orphanage with the people who need things. You can be engaged in wonderful spiritual activity. But the highest spirit may be asking you to do something completely different. And even though you're in some good and positive activity, your own personal agenda is God, and God is not God. This is the atmosphere where the 7 demons worse come in, because now you're spiritual and you don't do bad, evil, sordid, negative things. You just do good things. You just do seemingly good things and avoid the best thing that the highest spirit is actually speaking. You avoid the best thing for your personal agenda. You set aside a challenging thing in order to do a thing that is comfortable in your personal agenda. Now, here's what's up. I had 2 memorable mentors in my life. Ron Brown, who helped me learn how to fix my own brakes. When you're driving around in San Francisco, you want to have really good brakes. He helped me learn how to work on my own car by myself. And later on, many years later, I had Drew Graham as a mentor. And if I had my way, I would go back and spend a whole lot more time following each of them around. So a David came to me and spoke honor and said, I want to listen to you and what you have to say. And when that David came to stay with me for a period of time, I noticed how that there was a certain character who was constantly preventing David from actually being near me and hearing me. And I was observing that distraction. And I laid down before my friend David the simple basic things that are a high priority to me. Now, when a person expresses interest in another person, sometimes they just want to be in relationship with them because they feel a comfort. The things that I have said that are sober and true are repeated with some simplicity and clarity. Those being, it is very wise to immerse oneself in the teachings of Jesus of Nazareth. It is very wise to immerse oneself, or to be immersed in the mystical water blood immersion, which is the moment when it is recalled that the negative things, the sins that are held to your account, are covered, atoned for. It doesn't mean that it makes them disappear. They will be used for wisdom and good. But they are covered, they are atoned for. They are no longer held against you when you're immersed in water. In the immersion of the Spirit, the willingness to be immersed in suffering. I repeated these things. Now, it's very easy to get into the personal agenda of solving problems by being in a pleasant atmosphere or eating or taking into your body certain healthy things. Trying to decide the alignments and comforts of things to help make your decisions. But in fact, we just need to go forward, be immersed in the teaching, in the water, in the spirit, and being willing to be immersed in the suffering. Now, curious David, who has come close, you have a desire to be an encouragement and refreshment to another who is close to you, to be an inspiration, to be a team member to someone else who is close to you. But I am concerned that your personal agenda your way of solving things appears to be missing the steps that the one you have honored is indicating. So when a teacher goes forward and gives a test and the student chooses not even to take the test, then there's a break, and the personal agenda of the student may be quite different than the teacher. But I say this as the most important thing. Just as in the airplane when you are called to put the oxygen on yourself first before you help someone else. There remains a need, and I am concerned that many ideas and a spirit of personal agenda would actually override some of the sweetest things. Hallelujah. Dosha kotamara patapita. Kasiri patapata. Kosivitana dimata kotamata. Jishidimata. Personal agenda and human evaluations, and trying to solve things by temporal means can get many measures of results and success. But in the end, you actually have to lay everything down and go face to face with the scary juggernaut of God truth. Not especially problematical.